I think we're finally live with you. Welcome to the NWAC postseason here at Delta Park as we are joining you currently in the top of the second inning. As the first pitch to Twitty is in there, swing and a miss, 0-1. This is the 5v12 matchup in the postseason. Number 5 Mount Hood Saints, the number 12 seeded Lower Columbia Red Devils. Lower Columbia currently with a 3-1 lead. As the next pitch is dribbled right to Lexi Gary. She will step on first for out number 1.
For the Red Devils from Stanaway Lake High School is Tacoma, Washington. Number 3, Emily Panish.
Emily Panish will round things out in the bottom half of the lineup for the Red Devils. Got a late jump, so I am learning the lineups as Albert Hensley, our lovely public address announcer, addresses them. As the first pitch to her is in there for a called strike, and it's 0-1. Special thanks to the Northwest Athletic Conference for allowing us to continue our stream. Unfortunately, doing a video stream is a conflict of interest because they have their own stream on their own network, which is on this field right now. But we can still do an audio cast as that one is just outside, but called strike 2. Delayed strike call from the umpire. Now the count 0-2 with 1 out. Kyler Carson's on the mound for the Saints. And the 0-2 pitch now on Twitty is down low. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Lower Columbia finished this season with a record of 24-20. And the next pitch fouled back. So it remains 1 ball, 2 strikes. Top 2 and a 3-1 Lower Columbia lead. Other notable Saints players: Kayla Richmond behind the plate catching, Lexi Gary on first, Matt and the Leach taking second, Leslie Main shortstop, Sarah Martin third, and then Hodgson, Kosmicki, and Wilson round out the outfield. 1-2 pitch down low, 2 balls and 2 strikes. So 1 ball, 2 strikes now the count on Panish. Parsons ready, sets and fires it, and that one's just a bit outside. Now the count full, 3 balls and 2 strikes. Saints finished with a record of 35-7. Coming off a big sweep against Centralia. That one popped out to left, and a colliding catch there is made. I believe it was Kosmicki who made the catch, but she and Hodgson collide together. But that is out number 2. Now Benyon as we get back to the top of the order. We'll get to the other teams in the postseason as I have a copy of the bracket here with me and other notable matchups, including the 4 versus 13 matchup, which the winner of this one will get the winner of that one later on today as that one grounded. Madeline Leach trying to get it. She cannot. It goes into the outfield, and it is a 2-out single for Sunny Benyon. So Sawyer steps in as we once again rejoin the top of the lineup for the Lower Columbia Red Devils. With 2 outs gone here in the top of the second, and a 3-1 lead for the Red Devils. First pitch offering of the second inning is going to be just in there. Called strike, 0-1. A beautiful Thursday afternoon to have some playoff softball. Good to be with you as our season not over quite yet. Have some work to do though, down by 2. And now the 0-1 pitch to Stetson is going to be just outside. 1 ball, 1 strike. 16 teams made it into this tournament. A lot of them had to commute down here to the Portland area. A lot of them from the Washington and a few hours away. Mount Hood only about a half hour east of here is the next pitch offering inside. Throw to second is not in time. And Benyon will steal second. The number 1 overall seed in the tournament, of course, Bellevue. They are taking on number 16, Chemeketa. Currently going on right now on field number 3, which is behind us. Also going on right now is number 4, Clackamas, number 13, Spokane. Winner of that one will play the winner of this one. As that one grounded into the outfield. Rounding third, coming home now it's Benyon. She will score. Stetson will go to second. And the Lower Columbia Red Devils now have a 4-1 lead here in the second. So an RBI double for Stetson will bring Benyon to home. And it will extend the lead back up to 3. And it's 4-1 in favor of Lower Columbia. So now Tegan Reams, third batter in the order. Second appearance this afternoon. She struck out back in the first as she awaits her first pitch and hits that one foul, and that one may have gone on to field number 5. No balls, 1 strike. Runner on second with 2 down here in the top of the second. A 4-1 lead for Lower Columbia. Parsons ready, delivers. Swing and a miss, 0-2. So ball is thrown back into the field of play, fielded by Lexa Gary. She will throw it back towards the dugout. No balls, 2 strikes. The count on Tegan Reams. Sawyer Stetson is the runner on second. Parsons ready, and the 0-2. Down low, 1 ball, 2 strikes. One ball, 2 strike with 2 outs here in the top of the second. Reams ready in the pitch. Swing and a miss. Struck her out for out number 3. But they do add 1 more as we go to the bottom half of the second in a 4-1 lead for Lower Columbia.
Washington State Patrol troopers make a difference in their communities every day by providing the best in public safety services. In the Washington State Patrol, you'll have the chance to explore career-enhancing options to create the professional life you want. Apply to be a trooper today. Find out more at www.wsp.wa.gov. Leading off the bottom of the second for the Mount Hood Saints. From Olympic High School in Olympia, Washington. Number 25, Kayla Vincenza, Richmond.
Kayla Richmond will lead things off here for the Saints in the bottom half of the second, down by 3. She is the 8th batter in the lineup. I believe Leslie Main is on deck. She will round out the bottom of the order with a 4-1 lead, or a 4-1 deficit, I should say, for the Saints that they have some work to catch up on. First pitch to Richmond is up high for ball 1. Richmond, who is a .229 average, hits one to shortstop. Play throw is not in time as it hits her, and she takes a stumble. As she's still down there after being hit in the thigh. The umpire and assistant coach go over to check on her. She seems to be okay. She gets up, and I believe she is going to not need a pinch runner, as she is okay. So now a leadoff single for Richmond. Now it's Leslie Main. If you're wondering why our public address announcer Albert Hensley is not saying what's her name, it's because he has to be impartial. He is technically working for the conference, so he has to be neutral. But I will say it. What's her name? It's Leslie Main, and the first pitch to her is in there for a called strike. So 1 runner on, nobody out here, bottom 2 in this 12-5 matchup. Leslie Main, the 0-1 count. And that one's in there, 0-2. Oh, and 2 the count here on Leslie Main. Nobody out. Richmond on first. Gets the sign. And ready. Fires. Swing and a miss. She strikes out on 3. And that'll bring up Kosmicki back to the top of the lineup.
Next up for the center field, number 7, Mackenzie Kosmicki.
So Mackenzie Kosmicki, who was hit by the pitch in the bottom of the first, sees her second appearance. Kosmicki, who is a .467 batting average, just a tad below 500. With 1 base runner on and 1 out, bottom 2. First pitch to her is fouled back, 0-1. So 0-1 the count on Kenzie. And the next pitch down low, 1-1. When you look at these two teams, they played each other very competitively. Mount Hood went a perfect 4-0 against Lower Columbia this season. As the 1-1 to Kenzie Kosmicki is lifted right back to the pitcher. Throw to second is going to be called back. I believe it was foul. So Richmond has to go back to first. It was lifted right to the pitcher. It was dribbled right to the pitcher, but I believe it was called foul because it bounced behind the line before it made its way out there. It was a weird hit. But nonetheless, it's a foul ball, and the 1-2 on Kosmicki outside, 2 balls, 2 strikes. Baseball playoffs begin in just a couple of days. 1 week from today, the 25th, up in Kelso, Washington at Lower Columbia College. Mount Hood unfortunately did not make it in. Next pitch to Kosmicki, lifted out towards right, dropping, and it will drop. Right fielder can't make the play. Richmond trying to go to second, and she gets there safely. And now runners aboard first and second as that brings up Matt Leach.
Second base, number 1, Matt Leach.
Richmond had to sprint to second. She had figured the catch was going to be made, but thankfully she gets there just in time. And now the Saints have 2 runners on with only 1 out in the bottom of the second with Matt Leach with her second at-bat of the afternoon. Singled back in the first. As she gets her first offer here in the second, and that one down low for ball 1. Matt Leach right now would be the tying run. I know it's early, it's only the second. But just putting it out there, she does represent the tying run. 1-0 the count on Matt Leach. Next pitch on its way, swing and a dribbler. Gets through. Richmond going to stay at third, and now the Saints have bases loaded as that brings up Lexi Gary.
Now batting for the Saints, first base, number 3, Lexi Gary.
So prime position for the Saints as you get to a powerful part of the lineup with only 1 out. It's Lexi Gary, then Brenna Wilson, then Sarah Martin. If we don't have 3 outs by then. Lexi Gary, who had a single back in the first, will now face her second appearance of the day as the first pitch to her is down low, ball 1. One ball, no strikes to count on Lexi Gary. With bases loaded and only 1 out, bottom 2, and a 4-1 deficit for the Saints. Next pitch on its way, lifted out towards the left, and catch is made. Richmond will tag, so everyone stays where they are and 2 down. Now Brenna Wilson. Still bases loaded for the Saints, 2 outs now. They try to cut into this deficit just a little bit more. And the first pitch offering out of Brenna Wilson is in there for a called strike, and it's 0-1. Richmond on third. Kosmicki on second. Leach on first. Next pitch on its way. Up high, 1 ball, 1 strike. Wilson ready. 1-1, 2 down. Next pitch on its way is in there for a called strike. It's 1-2. That one was right down the middle, little low, but kind of where you want it to be. So 1 ball and 2 strikes. Now the count on Brenna Wilson. 2 gone, bottom 2. Next pitch. Swing and a foul. As Richmond was 3/4 of the way home, she has to go back. As Wilson with a 1-2 count. The pitch. And that one just low. 2 balls, 2 strikes. You can hear the chants from the Mount Hood dugout here on the third base side. 2-2. Swing and a miss. They leave them loaded. We go to the third. It's still 4-1 in favor of Lower Columbia.
Advanced Landmark Event Staffing Services is a proud partner of the NWAC and its member schools. There's part-time event staff employment available in both Portland and the Seattle Pacific region.
Rachel Squibb will lead things off for the Red Devils. As we take a look at the other matchups going on here at Delta Park. Earlier today, you had number 2 Southwest Oregon against number 15 Centralia. And number 7 Columbia Basin defeated number 10 Everett. The only two that I got results for was that Columbia Basin defeated Everett and that number 3 North Idaho defeated number 14 Wenatchee Valley. Other matchups, number 6 Walla Walla, number 11 Edmonds. Again, the matchup in our region, the 5-12 and 4-13 Lower Columbia versus Mount Hood, and also Spokane versus Clackamas going on right now on the field behind us. You have number 9 and number 8, that's Treasure Valley and Douglas. And once again, you have the number 1 overall seed in the tournament, the Bellevue Bulldogs, taking on the Chemeketa Storm right now on the field, just diagonal to us.
Leading off the top of the third.
So the Saints down by 3. Back on defense here in the third. As it'll be Rachel Squibb to lead things off here for the Devils. And Squibb, who is a .350 batting average. Gets ready to see her first pitch of inning number 3. And that one is in there for a called strike. It's 0-1. The Red Devils got 3 early in the first. They added 1 more in the second. Mount Hood only has the 1 run they got in the first inning. And a little bit of work to do. As the 0-1, Parsons is dribbled right to Sarah Martin. Here's the throw to Lexi Gary. It's in time, 1 down. So Leanna Russell will follow with 1 gone here, top 3, and a 4-1 Red Devil lead. Looking a little bit of revenge here after going 0 for 4 in the regular season against these Saints. First pitch to her is in there for a called strike. It's 0-1. On the count of the pitch. Lifted out towards right field. It's going to drop. And no further play there. It's a 1-out single for Russell, as that will bring up Destiny Dunlap. Bella Aspis will follow her, followed by Malia Twitty and Emily Panish to round out the bottom half of the lineup. 9 batters apiece. No changes as of yet. First offering here to Dunlap. Swing and a miss. It's 0-1. No balls, 1 strike, the count. Next offering on its way. Just outside, 1 ball, 1 strike. Tournament double elimination style, so no matter who loses this game, they're not technically out of the tournament quite yet. They would still have to lose once more. But it always is unfortunate when you lose that first game, because then you have to play the rest of the tournament and win out. As that one swung on and missed, 1-2 as the base runner Russell will steal second. She gets there safely. And now the count 1-2 on Dunlap. Time called, but now we get back into play. One ball, two strikes to count with one away here in the top of the third. Runner on second. And the pitch. Lifted right to Lexi Gary. She will step on third. No further throw. There's two down. So here's Bella Aspis. They do have a runner on third, though. But the Saints do have two outs. Trying to keep this at a 3-run game. First pitch on its way. Swing and a miss. It's 0-1. Next pitch. In there for a called strike, and it's 0-2. Oh, 0-2 count. The pitch. Lifted foul and probably onto the next field. The sun is peaked right above us this beautiful day here at Delta Park. 2023 softball tournament. Next pitch on its way. Lifted into the outfield. That's going to drive in another run. Kosmicki with the throw. And now they pick her off. And now they got her caught. And she will be tagged out. For out number 3, the run does score. And it's 5-1 as we go to the bottom half of the third.
After 3.5 innings, Lower Columbia 5, Mount Hood 1. And fans, check out the NWAC on social media using the handle @NWAC Sports on Facebook and Twitter, and using the handle @NWAC Sports 1 on Instagram. Find all the latest news and highlights from NWAC events. Connect with us today.
So Sarah Martin will lead things off, followed by Gracie Hodgson, Marley Johnson. As the Saints find themselves down by 4. Still plenty of game left to play. But the Red Devils have found their way, as they did in Game 2 of that last meeting between the two out in Gresham. If you were listening to us, you remember how that ended. The walk-off from Mariah Frederick. So a little bit of a vengeance going on with the Red Devils as they try to give the Saints their first loss of the postseason rather early. Saints, of course, who won the championship last year, as they try to repeat themselves. But they have to get past these Red Devils first, down by 4. So here is Sarah Martin to lead things off here in the bottom of the third. And the first offering to her is in there for a called strike, and it's 0-1.
Come on, Sarah, swing that back, kid.
0-1 count. Next pitch, Sarah Martin. Down low, 1 ball, 1 strike. Some of these teams will be heading home after today. They end up losing a game because that one is down low, ball 2. 2-1 the count. Two and one the count here on Sarah Martin. The pitch up high, 3 balls and 1 strike. They're in 1 the count here on Sarah Martin. The pitch, swing and a miss, 3-2. Full count pitch. As the cars in the background honk to celebrate. That'll bring up Gracie Hodgson. But good start for the Saints as they get Sarah Martin on first early. Gracie Hodgson, who had a single back in the first. Gets her first pitch, lifts it right to first. Throw to second is in time, but they do not throw it back to first. There's 1 down.
Coming to the plate for the Saints, number 14, Marley Johnson.
So they decide to get the advanced runner. So they throw Martin out at second. Hodgson will stay up first as that brings up Marley Johnson. And the first pitch is in there for a called strike. 0-1 the count. No balls, 1 strike with 1 out. Next pitch to Marley Johnson, lifted into left field. Base hit, rounding second and getting back to second is Gracie Hodgson. And no further play there. So now runners aboard first and second with Kayla Richmond.
Number 25, Kayla Vincenza Richmond.
As Hodgson is still down at second. I think she might be getting a doesn't look like she's getting a pinch runner. She's out there with all the coaches. She's going back. Looks to be okay. She's holding her hand. That must have been when she slid, or when she slid. Drew up some blood potentially. Two different meetings going on right now. The mounted coaching staff is meeting over with Hodgson, as well as the everybody in the field for the Lower Columbia Red Devils meeting at the mound. And it looks like she's going to be given some sort of, I don't know if that's sanitizer or if that's just water. She's just washing her hands with. The throw was coming in rather quickly. She turned around and dove back to second. Got in there safely, but not quite sure yet at what cost. There's no indication whether or not anyone else is going to come out of the dugout to pinch run. So I think she's okay. So where we stand right now is a 5-1 Lower Columbia lead, but the Saints here in the bottom of the third have 2 on with only 1 out. As Hodgson will now make her way back to second. Now she's getting a round of applause from the crowd here behind the Saints side. And once again, it's Kayla Richmond. With the 1 away here in the bottom half of the third. Saints down by 4. They try to come back in this game. And here we go. The first pitch offering to Kayla Richmond is down low, ball 1. Marley Johnson is the other base runner. She's on first. So 2 base runners on for the Saints. Only 1 out here in the bottom half of the third inning. And the 1-0 pitch to Richmond up high. 2 balls, no strikes. Two balls, no strikes. The count on Richmond. Next pitch offering on its way. And that one is inside, 3-0. So 3 balls and no strikes on Kayla Richmond. Next pitch on its way. In there, 3-1. Three balls, 1 strike on Richmond. Next pitch is in there as well, and the count full. High fastball. So now the count full with 1 out. Richmond ready. And the next pitch offering. Swung on, hit, and that one drops. And no further run. Everyone's just going to take a base. And now the Saints have bases loaded with Leslie Main. Got through the gap. So Leslie Main with only 1 out. Opportunity to cut into this lead. Just about halfway through. And she is also the tying run. So the first pitch to Main, dribbled, and here's the throw home. Throw to first is not in time. 2 down. So now that'll bring us back to the top of the lineup with Kenzie Kosmicki. Still 5-1 as they went with the fielder's choice, threw it to home to keep the run from scoring. So it remains a 4-run lead for the Red Devils. with Kosmicki making her third appearance. First pitch to her up high for ball one. Next pitch to Kosmicki, lifted towards third, and that one is going to get there in time. So they keep them scoreless once again. We go to the fourth. It's still 5-1 in favor of the Red Devils.
Leading off the top of the fourth for the Red Devils, number 7, Malia Twitty.
Malia Twitty will lead things off here in the fourth. Up by 4. First pitch to her is in there for a called strike. Count 0-1. Next pitch on its way is in there for a called strike as well. 0-2. No balls, 2 strikes to count. Carson's ready. And that one just outside, 1-2. One ball, 2 strikes to count on Twitty. And the pitch. Swing and a miss. 1 down. That'll bring up Emily Panic.
Number 3, Emily Panic.
First pitch to Panic is going to be called for a strike. Not sure if she did, in fact, swing at that. So I don't know if that's a swinging strike or a called strike, but nonetheless, it's 0-1. She went halfway and then pulled back, and the umpire did call strikes, but I think it was a looking strike. As that one is also in there. That one's looking. It's 0-2. So no balls, 2 strikes to count on Panish. Next pitch on the way. Lifted out. Foul. Still 0-2. So they have a makeshift fence. The the far out fence is 300 feet, but they have a net fence in front of it, which I believe is what the tournament's using as the regulation fence. Looks to be maybe about a little over 200 feet out. As the 0-2 pitch, swing and a miss, struck her out number 2. I was noticing the outfielders were playing kind of close, and that is why it was hard to tell, because from my vantage point, it looks like it blends in with the far out fence, but there are 2 separate fences. If you're watching field number 4 right now on the stream, you can see that. So now we're at the top of the lineup with Sonny Benyon. First pitch is in there for a called strike. It's 0-1. So no balls, 1 strike. As Parsons ready, and she gets set, and that one fouled into the glove of Richmond, 0-2. No balls, 2 strikes, 2 gone, top 4. And the pitch. Popped up, out of play, foul. 0-2 still to count. Oh, and 2. And that one just a bit outside. 1 ball, 2 strikes. One and 2 the count. Parsons ready. And the pitch. Swing and a miss. Got her with a changeup. And that'll do it as we go to the bottom half of the 4th. Saints still have a little bit of work to do, down by 4. It's 5-1 in favor of Lower Columbia still. But for the first time in this game, the Saints keep the Red Devils scoreless in an inning. Back-to-back strikeouts for Kylie Parsons. As that sends us to the bottom half of the 4th inning, where it'll be Matlin Leach to lead things off.
Find all the latest news and highlights from NWAC events and connect with us today. And fans, don't forget to check out the official tournament merchandise from Fine Design. T-shirts, sweatshirts, and more. Everything is fully customizable. Get your tournament gear today. Supplies are limited. See the merch tent near the concessions. And fans, visit the concession stands for all of your food and snack needs during the tournament. Leading off for the Saints, number 1, Matlin Leach.
Matlin Leach will lead things off here in the bottom half of the 4th, down by 4. And she gets her first pitch, lifts it out towards right. It's going to drop for a base hit. Leach around second. She's going to go for third, and she is in there with a leadoff triple. A good start for the Saints as Matlin Leach gets the triple with a deep shot to right field as that brings up Lexi Geary to try to cut into this lead. And she immediately stands up and yells at her dugout in celebration. So Lexi Gary will try to drive her home as the first pitch to her is down low for ball one. Next pitch off right now to Lexi Gary. Hits her, and she will take first. And she makes the second hit batter of the ball game. The other one being Kosmicki. As that'll bring up Brenna Wilson. And now the Saints with runners on the corners with nobody out. As the ball did not hit her, I guess, she does go back and has to go at bat again, and now the umpires are going to discuss. It seemed like it hit the bat. She pulled her shoulder back. But nonetheless, Lexi Gary is still at the plate with Matt and the Leach still on third. Still 1 ball, no strikes. As that one is in there for a called strike, it's 1-1. Brenna Wilson is on deck. And the 1-1 pitch to Lexi Gary is down low, 2 balls, 1 strike. Two balls and 1 strike on Lexi Gary. Runner on third, nobody out. The pitch, down low, 3-1. Saints beat Lower Columbia all 4 times this season. They trail by 4 here today. Next pitch is going to be down low, and Lexi Gary will indeed walk. As that brings up Brenna Wilson, runners on the corners with nobody gone. So Brenna Wilson and Sarah Martin and Greasy Hodgson. Marley Johnson, Kayla Richmond, Leslie Main. After that, if we don't have 3 outs by then. And the first pitch offering of inning 4 to Brenna Wilson, lifted out, and that one going to drop. Matt Leach is going to stay, and the Saints load the bases with Sarah Martin. So Sarah Martin if she hits one to the fences, this game is tied. So in one swing of the bat, this game could be all square. We'll see what she does. Is Sarah Martin currently 1 for 2 with a walk. And the first pitch to her is just outside for ball 1. So Matt and the Leach still on third, Lexi Gary on second, Brenna Wilson on first. Down by 4. 1-0 to Martin. Foul, 1-1. 1-1 the count on Sarah Martin. And the pitch is just a bit out. 2 balls, 1 strike. So 2-1 the count. Bases loaded, nobody out, bottom 4. And the pitch. Dribbled right to third. Here's the throw home. And no further play, 1 down.
Next up for the Saints, number 19, Gracie Hodgson.
So here is Gracie Hodgson with her 3rd at-bat of the game. 2 for 2 with a single and a double. Once again, bases loaded, only 1 out. First pitch outside, ball 1. So now Lexi Gary is on 3rd, Brenna Wilson on 2nd, Sarah Martin on 1st. Next pitch offering here to Hodgson. Swing and a miss, 1-1. One ball, 1 strike to count. Next pitch on its way. Did she go? She did not. 2 balls and 1 strike. Two and 1 pitch. Lifted out. It's going to get into the field. Here comes some runners. And only one's going to score. RBI single for Gracie Hodgson. It's 5-2.
Next up for the Saints, number 14.
So Lexi Gary is the runner to score. So now Brenna Wilson on 3rd, Sarah Martin on 2nd, Gracie Hodgson on 1st, as that brings up Marley Johnson. And Johnson, who is 1 for 2 with a single. And now a quick meeting at the infield for the Red Devils. Still up by 3. It's a 5-2 game. So the Saints have cut into this deficit and have brought this to a 3-run game with only 1 out here in the bottom of the 4th. Now the umpire is going to converge and have a discussion. I would assume they're going to relay any message to our public address announcer, so we will find out what is going on. Not sure if we're getting a pitching change or a lineup change, as now the head umpire is jogging over to the Lower Columbia dugout. And now play resumes. Not sure what all that was about, but Marley Johnson with bases loaded, 1 out. 5-2 lead for the Red Devils. And Marley Johnson is known to hit them deep. If she hits one deep, they have the lead. First pitch offering to her is down low, ball 1. One and 0 count, and that one foul, 1-1. One and 1 the count here on Marley Johnson with 1 away. Bottom of the fourth. Next pitch offering is hit right underneath her, foul, and it's 1-2. Delta Airlines flying right over Delta Park. As Marley Johnson now faces a 1-2 count. And the pitch down low, 2-2. Two and two the count here to Johnson. As the next teams make their warm-ups in the outfield. 3-1, 3-2. So now the count full with bases loaded and 1 out. Next offering to Johnson is going to be foul. Both these teams will play later today, no matter what happens in this game. And I believe we'll have game times for you when we have them. Next pitch to Johnson. Ball lifted out, and here's the throw to second, over to first. Not in time. Another run will come in. It is an RBI single, but they do get the runner at second. There's 2 down, but it's 5-3. So now runners on the corners. It was Gracie Hodgson who they got out at second. So Sarah Martin goes to third, Marley Johnson on first. Brenna Wilson was the run to score. 2-run game. Richmond pops one up and backing up, making the catch at second base, and that'll retire the side. End of 4 here in Delta Park, and it's a 5-3 game. So they cut into that lead a little bit more, and instead of being down by 4, we go to the 5th, only down by 2.
Official ball provider of the NWAC Softball Championship. For nearly 40 years, Baden Balls have set the standard for quality and craftsmanship, delivering world-class game balls to colleges and national conferences across the country. Baden thanks you for attending the 2023 NWAC Softball Championship. Baden, it's all about perfection.
Sawyer Stetson will be leading things off here in the top half of the 5th, with Lower Columbia leading by 2.
Catcher, number 10, Sawyer Stetson.
The Saints have cut the deficit in half. It was 4, and now it's 2. In a 5-3 ball game, now in the 5th inning. First pitch offering now to Stetson is just a bit outside, ball 1. 1-0 the count here to Stetson. Next pitch in there, called strike. It's 1-1. One and one the count. Swing and a miss. 1-2. One ball, 2 strikes to Stenson. Parsons ready. And that one just a bit outside. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Two balls, 2 strikes. The pitch to Stetson. Just a bit high and the count full. Next pitch on the way, swing and a foul back. The Saints with 3 more at-bats after this, down by 2 as they try to stay perfect against the Red Devils this season. 3 balls, 2 strikes to count here in Stenson. First batter of the 5th. And that one is in there, called strike 3 for out number 1. So that'll bring up Tegan Reams. Rachel Squibb to follow. And Leanna Russell. 1 gone here in the 5th. Parsons gets set and fires it, and that one's just a bit out, 1-0. One ball, no strikes to count, and the next pitch on the way, lifted out foul. It's 1-1. So 1 ball and 1 strike to count here on Reams. With 1 out here in the top of the 5th at a 5-3 lead for Lower Columbia. The pitch down low, 2-1. Two balls and a strike. And that one is in there, 2-2. Next pitch on the way, and that one outside and the count full. Three balls, 2 strikes on Reams. The pitch, swing and a miss, struck her out. So I'll bring up Rachel Squibb.
Number 24, Rachel Squibb.
First pitch is in there, called strike, and it's 0-1. Two outs here in the fifth. In a 5-3 game. Next pitch on the way. And that one down low. 1 ball, 1 strike. One and one the count. Carson sets, delivers, swing and a miss. 1-2. One ball, 2 strikes. Count on Squibb. And the pitch, lifted out and foul. Lexi Gary could not catch up to make the catch. So it remains 1-2. Next pitch to Squibb, up high, 2-2. So 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 gone, 2-run game. Saints playing from behind. It all starts with getting out of the defense. Parsons ready, as is Squibb. 2-2 pitch. Down low with the count full. Three balls and 2 strikes to count here on Squibb. And the pitch. Did she go? She did not. And it's a 2-out walk.
Next up for the Red Devils, second base, number 30, Leanna Russell.
So the Red Devils get 1 aboard here with 2 gone as that brings up Leanna Russell. It was very close, but I think the call was right. It did not look like she went halfway around. So here's Russell. As she dribbles one. Lexi Gary with the play, flips it back, and they get her at first. A nice little flip as Madeline Leach comes in to make the save as Lexi Gary couldn't get up. They get the 3rd out at first, and we go to the bottom of the 5th. It's still 5-3 in favor of the Red Devils.
Fans, the NWAC would like to thank Chemeketa, Clackamas, and Mount Hood Community Colleges for hosting the NWAC Softball Championship Tournament. They supply many of the event staff and volunteers that work so hard to help make this event a success. Thank you, Shemekinah, Clackamas, and Mount Hood.
So Leslie Main will lead things off in the bottom of the fifth. As now the Saints only find themselves down by a pair. It's 5-3.
Leading off for the Saints, number 11, shortstop, Leslie Main.
So it'll be Leslie Main, Mackenzie Kosmicki, Matt Leach, Lexi Gary. Brenna Wilson, Sarah Martin. If we get that far. But the Saints have started to get a feel for this game as the first pitch to Main is in there for a called strike. It's 0-1. Next pitch to Leslie Main, down low, 1-1. One and one pitch, dribbled out, and that one's foul, 1-2. Saints were down at this point in game 2 against Lower Columbia.